Forms of noun. Let's look at some shapes of or forms of nouns when certain affixes are attached to it. Most countable nouns in English have two word form, a singular and a plural. We have just discussed. Inflectionally, for any noun lexeme x, there are just two grammatical words, singular x and plural x, contrasting in number. One person, one thing, or more than one person or more than one thing. Let's see, lexeme cat has cats as its plural. Root, we have root cat and suffix s. The suffix s is the regular suffix for forming plural. Irregular suffixes such as cacti, family, and many phenomena, like in a plural of phenomenon, they are found in Latin and Greek. The suffix ren, ren as in oxen and children and brethren. So they are irregular suffixes. And we have some Hebrew word as well, which have im suffix in cherubim and kibbtzim. Some countable nouns that express their plural with no suffix at all, but with a change of the vowel, internal change from tooth to teeth and man to man, are more precisely an allomorph of the root with a different vowel from the singular. So they are allomorph of the root. This is the new term that we have just introduced. Allomorph of the roof, variant of the root. Also, some whose plural display not even a vowel change. For example, sheep, fish, deer, trout. We call them zero allomorph, right? So we do not have plural for these words, but we do use them in syntax where we have certain grammatical structure for them. We can use them according to the syntactic context. For example, a deer was visible through the trees, right? We have verb, singular verb, and we have article a. Two deer were visible, so we have a countable. We have a numeral adjective, and we have a plural verb. So the class of noun unchanged in the plural called zero plural or carrying a zero suffix could conceivably be just as random as the class of those with vowel change. So we know that there are not many words with these two aspects when there is no change or when there is some internal vowel change. There are not too many words. Nouns have plural form that refers to entities that are countable, like cats, like pianist, and they have certain other nouns which do not have plural entities and which are not countable, like astonishment and like rice. Because astonishment, when we add as astonishments, it may be an event of astonishment, right? Except in some contexts in which we use them in a different meaning, like events or varieties of rice, etc. Not all nouns referring to countable entities have both singular and plural forms. For example, a few nouns such as scissors and pants, they do not have singular nouns. We know that we do not say scissor and we do not say pant. We always say scissors and pants. And if we have to use them as refer to them in any other way, we may say a pair of scissors as a single entity and a pair of pants as a single entity, right? And they are always clear that they are plural. They are not used in singular forms. This idiosyncratic lack of a morphological singular form, except in compounds such as scissors, factory, creates some problem in contexts where the syntax seems to require such a form, as when the noun is preceded by the indefinite article or a or an. For example, we can say neither a scissor nor a scissors, and likewise neither a pant nor a pants, right? So there is some idiosyncratic problem with these things. For these lexemes, there is a conventional circumlocution, as I just said, or pre-phrasistic form, pair of pants or pair of scissors. The unusual nouns scissors and pants provide an opportunity to deal with a possible doubt concerning whether the singular, plural, contrast and nouns really deserve to be called inflectional. So this is a question whether these unusual nouns like scissors and pants and singular plural noun cats and cats, does this contrast among the nouns deserve to be called inflectional? If inflection is a matter of grammatically conditioned variant as is thought generally, it is easy to agree that the contrast between performs in this pianist performs and perform in these pianists perform is inflectional, because it is a contrast imposed by the grammatical context. But what about the noun phrases themselves? The choice between singular and plural, there is determined not by grammar but by meaning. One may think by what the speaker wants to say. I mean, the speaker chooses whether he or she is to use singular or a plural noun. If so, does this contrast really deserve to be called grammatically conditioned? If the speaker has to choose, so can we say that the S in with performs in case of the pianist, or pianists perform in case of the S with the pianist, is again, there is a question, is a grammatically conditioned? So the singular plural distinction is only grammatical distinction. We can answer that is expressed morphologically in English nouns. So we can simply say that this singular plural distinction, which is only grammatical distinction between singular noun and plural noun, it can only be explained through morphologically in English nouns. In other languages of the world, it can be expressed differently.